2020 is start of the new decade, and many people are predicting that financial services sector will be disrupted forever by digital technologies in general and fintech in particular. In this episode, I'm going to talk about what the next decade will look like and where we will be in 2030.
What are the trends you see that are really shaping the evolution of the fintech industry that you think will carry into the future?
So what we have seen prior to or during the last crisis, which was a financial services crisis, we saw the birth of fintechs, and now what we are seeing is a massive adoption of fintechs and the digital technologies by consumers as well as businesses. And I foresee that this trend will accelerate even further. What we would have achieved in next 5 to 7 years is happening as we speak.
What are the recent trends that have been happening perhaps in this past year that you think are going to really shape and drive the future that we see 5, 10, 15 years from now?
Yeah, so I think like any other industry, you see the first crop of players coming in, and a lot of them have now, fallen away. Some of them have got acquired at fire sale prices. Some of them have done well, in their IPOs. Some are seeing a lot of increase in their valuation in private market. So we are seeing all three trends happening right now.
What are your predictions for what's going to happen in the next decade of the fintech industry?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, the fintech industry, the financial services industry will become fintech services industry. Everything will be driven by tech. Everything will be done, digitally. There won't be so many number of branches as we see today. There'll be no need or very little need for ATMs. We are already seeing that what's happening in China. China has become a totally cashless economy, more or less. We are going to see a lot more self-service, concepts gaining ground. By 2030, we'll have like 7G or 8G. So it will be very interesting because, the world will, in my view, turn the full cycle. It's like, you went from physical touch to a digital touch, and then the digital touch will become so seamless that it will look like, almost feel like a physical touch point again, without actually sitting in front of each other or without doing transactions, in any physical premises. So I think that's going to be a huge change, as well as, the ubiquitousness of fintech industry being present everywhere, embedded into every other industry. I think till now, technology has been driving the sector more than the financial part of the business. In my view, going forward, financial part of the business will actually become almost equal or even bigger than the technology part, because as technology becomes more ubiquitous, as 5G comes in, and as we have more open APIs and open banking and open source stuff coming in, the quality of financial services, the quality of risk management, the quality of compliance, the quality of customer service will actually start mattering more than just the baseline technology. Right now, it's like whoever has technology is adopting it faster and adapting to it faster. I think in few years' time, technology will be like a utility, and what you do from that will become a differentiator.
How do you think the next 10 years are going to affect all those different stakeholders, from consumers and small business customers to lenders and banks to more regulators and policymakers? How is this coming 10-year period going to transform the way that all of those stakeholders relate to fintech?
In my view, this is the start of a massive disruption in financial services. So I see lenders and banks either transforming themselves into digital entities or just getting extinct. I see small businesses and other borrowers, expecting a total seamless digital experience for every single product they want. I foresee lenders becoming extremely data savvy, and also have a pricing matrix which actually can cater to each individual customer, which is impossible today to do. And I foresee that the need for judging everybody on their credit score is going to go away, because you will have so much more data to look at people and what they are doing, and also predict that how they will behave in terms of their repayment records, or during a recession, or overall financial responsibility that they have. And from a regulatory aspect, I think it's the biggest change that regulators will have to tackle in financial services in last 100 years. My take is that the next decade is going to be the most revolutionary decade in the history of financial services. Uh, the fintech industry is going to play a very central role in this massive disruption and transformation in the lives of consumers as well as business owners. And what we are seeing right now is a massive amount of transformation happening, and where the traditional players try to become more digital and fintechs try to mimic more of the traditional players. And what's going to happen over the next 10 years is going to be fascinating. Looking back, 2020 will be a watershed year when all this really started.